So as a dungeon master, how do your players acquire magic items? That's something that I'm always exploring. And depending on the type of campaign, the type of adventure that we're playing, it's kind of a moving target. It's kind of a sliding scale. So there's this idea, this framework, when you level up your character. And I pushed this up to the archive, but we want to framework it a little bit. The way that your character gains power in Dungeons & Dragons. 3 areas, and we want to focus on these 3 areas. We want to explore them. The first, the hard stats, the feats, the spells, the abilities, the hit dice, the number of attacks, the proficiencies, whatever it's going to be in your D&D system. That's pretty straightforward. Get enough experience, level up, there you go. Second, magic items. If I'm a 2nd level fighter, +1 sword, that's pretty good. If I'm an 8th level fighter with a +1 sword, I'm falling behind the curve. So making sure your gear keeps up with your levels. And then third would be the narrative of the game itself, having contacts in the Thieves Guild, contacts in the Church of Helm, contacts on the City Council, the Ear of the King, where you can pull in some NPCs and interactions to gain some knowledge or to utilize the quest. So in terms of magic items, these are a lot of fun. And I break down magic items kind of into 2 categories. The first are damage dealers, right? The type of thing when the DM says roll for initiative, you're like, I've got this, I'm going to utilize this. Examples would be magic swords, wands, potions, things that are going to boost your attributes, right? Gauntlets of ogre strength, belt of giant strength, boots of speed, things like that. Second would be wondrous items, things that don't necessarily deal damage, but they can interact not only in the roll for initiative type setting, but also the narrative of the game. And those I'm really, really interested in. Portable holes, immovable rods, things like that, where you can really have a lot of fun as a player utilizing these. But they cost gold. They're pricey. So how do we acquire magic items, both as a DM and as a player? Now, you go through various adventures and you acquire magic items. You liberate them from the dungeon. Usually what I do as a player is, as a DM, I leave it up to the players. This is what the party found. You handle it. I very rarely intervene. It's not my place. I can make some suggestions if it's new players. Hey, this is what D&D usually does, and you should be aware of it. So if you play in other groups, kind of that D&D social contract, you're aware. But ultimately, as the DM, I can't say what the party wants to do. I'm not there. Usually what I do as a player would say, we found a magic item. Who can use this item the most? Can they directly use it in the adventure we're in right now, if we've identified it, or if we're back at the home base for a little bit? What makes sense? So if we've got a wand and there's a wizzy, look, you've got the wand. If it's a fighter and there's a sword, you've got the sword. It's not always fair how it divides up, but that's okay, right? Because if you get some good gear in this adventure, in the next adventure, maybe I'll get some good gear. The DM knows what's there in the adventure, but we could discover anything. It's the Lost Island and we're fighting dinosaurs. Who knows why there's a magic sword here, right? Who knows what else we're going to possibly find? Second to that, then, are magic items where they're kind of cool, right? Maybe it's a specialized potion or a wondrous item. Like, it's not going to break the game. It's not going to make the party amazing, but it's kind of neat, and it might be fun to have. So in that case, we got to kind of decide as the players, as the party, do we want to sell it and get the gold, or do we just want to let someone have it because they're like, hey, this could be really cool for my character and help my flair. Like, let's do it. Okay, give it to them. Then there's magic items for whatever reason, just we're never going to use. We're not going to use them. It might be a weapon that someone doesn't have proficiency in. It might be some low-level scrolls that the mage already has. You sell them. You take the gold, you split it among the party. That's kind of in the quest. Now, outside of the quest, as a DM, when my players want to purchase magic items, depends on the situation. If we're in a very large city, look, there's going to be a couple of level 20 shopkeepers. Somebody's going to have something. You ask around, you pay a finder's fee, you negotiate. If it's kind of an appropriate magic item for your level and for the size of the city, an average magic item, I'll probably let you buy it. Yes, that takes a little bit of the discovery away from it, but you did earn it through the gold and through adventuring, and you did something for it. And you actually paid more for the magic item because we're going book value. The gold that you had to earn if you sold anything, that's discount value. Now, you want something special. I won't even get into custom magic gear, although I do accommodate that as a DM. I encourage that as a DM because if you get custom magic gear, then that's an investment in your character. That's an investment in the narrative. That's an investment in the game, ownership, avatar, all that type of stuff. So you want to have something interesting, then we will definitely do that. But in terms of some of the more powerful magic items, that might require a favor, a quest. You've got to earn that a little bit. Yes, you've got to pay the gold. So you pay the Thieves Guild. They ask a couple of questions. They find out, yeah, there's a wizard who has that item. He'll sell it to you. Now you got to pay our finder fee. He'll sell it to you, but, wizards are eccentric. I mean, we're talking a level 15 wizzy. He wants you to do a little quest. He wants you to do a job for him. Oh, he'll pay you. He'll let you keep what you want. So I'll run like a little side quest, maybe like an hour and a half type thing. So this way you earn it. You got to pay for it. And we can get a little experience in for the rest of the party who go along with this. Now, custom items. Custom items. Yes. If you want to come up with a custom item, you have to be the appropriate level where something like that would be available. I mean, look, you're a level 3 fighter. You want some like Highlander sword that you assemble and there's the quickening and it has multiple magic properties and can deflect missiles at will and do all this. Like, no way. That's not even available yet to your experience level. No one's even going to take you seriously. I mean, I do have to think about game balance. Just the gold alone that would require. So with custom weapons and custom gear, are you at a place where you have the funds to support that? And I'm reasonable if it's close. Second, in the narrative, in the role-playing, a major city, a Thieves Guild, a Wizards Guild, a Wizards Council, something like that where it can be created. Then it's going to require some special items and not necessarily like crafting, but you want some special gear. It might require some dragon scales. Where are you going to get those dragon scales? It might require some special ore from the abandoned dwarven mine. You got to go there and get it. It might require the finest gems as a focal point of power. Well, lucky for you, in the bottomless pit, at the bottom of the bottomless pit, there we go. So having the money, having the narrative contact, and then having the items, and then we can craft it. And we can do it. And you can create absolutely anything you want. I encourage it. But we're going to role play it out. And we're going to D&D economy it out. So as a player, as a DM, look, everybody loves magic items. Playing Neverwinter Nights, playing BG1, BG2. I love the magic gear. One could say, yeah, the monsters, beholders, and dragons and things like that are an important part of the game. The classes are an important part of the game. But the loot is a very, very important part of the game. So I want to utilize that as both a DM and as a player. How do you utilize magic gear? What are you looking for as a player? And as a DM, how do you handle it?